Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and thanks for tuning in to another one of my Napoleon Total War tournament battles. This is the final series of battles in round 1, and it also marks the halfway point through this tournament. So don't fear, there is plenty more Napoleon action to come. But I'm going to put the bracket up on the screen for you guys to take a look at quickly before we begin. You can see all of the people that have moved on to round 2, and the final set of battles we need to take a look at is LANSE versus AKABURE. So I hope you guys do enjoy, and without further ado, let's get to it.
Yes, sir.
Alright guys, welcome to the first battle between LANSE and AKABURE. We're looking at AKABURE's army first here. He is playing as the United Kingdom. He just has a basic general staff for his general, but he has brought a lot of heavy infantry along with his cavalry. He's got 2 units of the King German Legion Light Dragoons, one on either flank, and he's brought 1 unit of 9-pounder foot artillery. For his mainline infantry, he has 2 units of King German Legion Foot, which is a very solid infantry unit, one on either side. And in the center here, he's brought a few units of foot with a unit of rifles. And then in the rear here, next to his general, he's got 2 units of foot guards on either side. One on either side, that is, totaling 2. And then he has the 42nd Black Watch, which is a very solid unit. So he's got that right in the middle, just behind his general. If we take a look at Lance's forces over here, playing as France, he's brought 3 units of Chevaux Léger Lancers, so 3 units total. He has 2 units of 6-pounder foot artillery, a 6-pounder foot artillery and an 8-pounder foot artillery. But he's brought a lot more lights than the English. He has 3 units of the Voltigé instead of just 1 unit of rifles, so he does have the range advantage. And for his mainline infantry, he's brought 6 units of the Fusiliers of the Line. And then, of course, he has his general staff. And that pretty much rounds out his force. So it looks like we've got both of the lines moving forwards here. I believe the numerical advantage is with LANSE, but the quality of troops, I would say, is with the United Kingdom. Again, the Foot Guards, German Legion Foot, the 42nd Black Watch, they're very, very solid units. Wow, look at the amount of damage that this one unit of King German Legion Light Dragoons has taken, though. A lot of damage from LANSE's cannons, the 6-pounder and 8-pounder foot artillery here, so good positioning on them. Oh, and look, we've got a unit of the Chevaux Léger Lancers going very wide into the trees. I'm not sure if he has noticed that. Maybe he actually has, because he is moving one of his units of cavalry over to protect his only 9-pounder foot artillery. Or is it foot artillery? Yes, it is. And unfortunately, his other unit of cavalry has already broken, so that really is bad news for the English forces, because now LANSE has 3 units of cavalry behind his forces, 1 unit way over here, which has peeled off the only unit of cavalry for England, leaving this without any flank support from cavalry whatsoever. So if AKABURE needs to defend his flanks, he's going to have to send in his general, which is not the best. Over here as well, he kind of needs to push forwards. He's going to try and skirmish with his rifles against the Voltigé, but 3v1, that rifle unit is going to get absolutely destroyed. Here we go over here too. It looks like the King German Legion Light Dragoons are going to try and grab a hold of the Chevaux Léger Lancers, but I'm not sure if he's going to catch it in time. Let's go ahead and minimize this mini-map here so we can see more of the battle. Yeah, so just dodging the cavalry of the United Kingdom and getting a huge charge into the 9-pounder foot artillery, and unfortunately it is going to break their only cannon. So yes, moving forwards with his army, he left his cannon exposed, and he just didn't have enough cavalry to hold back the French. And actually, the English cavalry might end up breaking here as well, which would leave AKABURE with no cavalry support whatsoever. So that is not good. I just want to see how these rifles are doing over here. I mean, they're holding their own, but they're getting quite depleted. They are doing some good damage to this unit of Voltigé, though. 57 out of 80, but unfortunately, they're down to almost half strength. And the 2 units of artillery, which are over here, well protected by the cavalry, they're just ripping through the lines of the King German Legion Foot here. And yes, LANSE did win with the French cavalry over on that flank as well. So yeah, he cannot just sit here. AKABURE has to push forwards. He has no other choice. He's getting pelted by the artillery. He's getting wiped out by the Voltige. Hopefully I am pronouncing that right. I believe it's close to correct. But yeah, this unit of rifles is just getting absolutely destroyed. Because if you're going to bring really solid infantry like this, you need to use them to your advantage. Push them into range of these Voltige and just unleash them against them. Could easily break these 3 units. And I mean, toe-to-toe, like the Fusiliers of the Line are pretty solid, but I still think that even his cheapest units, which is the foot here, I think they are a bit better than Fusiliers of the Line. Again, you could correct me down in the comments. I'm not too sure. But I know the foot guards are one of the best units that England can bring, so surely they should be able to do enough damage to the Fusiliers of the Line. Lance, though, good battlefield awareness. He does see the mainline infantry coming forwards, and he pulls back his Voltiges out of range. Got to be ever wary of this unit of cavalry over here. I'm not sure, it might actually be hidden from view as well. And the general is over here. But look at all the dead units here. They haven't even seen melee yet. Well, not really melee, but they haven't even got into the battle yet, and they've taken quite a few casualties. This one taken 12 casualties. This one 25. This one has taken quite a few casualties. Like they're all weakened here. The King German Legion foot over here is okay, and this unit of foot guards is okay. But now the battle line has formed up, which is good to see. I think they're both out of range of each other still, though. But again, AKABURE, he's going to be losing a lot of valuable soldiers here to this artillery. It's getting some really good shots ripping through the lines. And actually, it's going for the 42nd Black Watch, which has lost quite a few men in the unit already. And none of his units have done any damage to Lance yet. So the balance of power is starting to slip into Lance's favor. I would say that he definitely has the better position. He has more cavalry. And there we go. Now his Fusiliers of the Line are in range. And they're kind of 2v1ing the foot guards over here on the flank. But yeah, look at the morale already dropping for the Fusiliers of the Line. Like, the foot guards are a really solid unit. But well done to Lance here. He's actually got his light infantry over on the flanks. We'll be pressuring the foot guards from the flank. And AKABURE does see that. He's bringing the 42nd foot, the Black Watch, in to try and control that flank a little bit better. But I would say Lance just needs to commit his cavalry now. Now that all the infantry is engaged in the firefight, they're not really going to be able to form square effectively because they will be fired upon by the Fusiliers of the Line. And by the looks of the morale here, the Fusiliers of the Line are not liking the fact that they're engaged against such elite English infantry. The general also very close as well. He's going to have to be careful there. Yeah, the foot guards over here doing a lot of work against the Fusiliers of the Line. I don't know how long Lance's infantry is going to hold against this. He needs to use his cavalry. Since he has the cavalry advantage, he needs to be using it. And it looks like actually he might be. Yes, he is bringing one of the depleted units of the Chevalier over to get some rear charges onto these units. But I would say he needs to activate the 2 fresh units as well. Really put the pressure on AKABURE to form square, and then the Fusiliers of the Line should be able to have the edge on the more elite infantry, but it looks like he's actually just going to try and go for the general. Oh my goodness, though, ripped a line through his own cavalry. I don't know if you guys caught that, but yeah, just absolutely decimated half of the unit. And the general actually might get away from this, I'm not too sure. Yeah, the French cavalry breaking, so that is really unlucky there. And it looks like the foot have turned around to face that, but now they are being shot in the back by the Fusiliers of the Line. But look how depleted these units are. The King German Legion foot here down to 39 men against the Fusiliers of the Line, which their numbers are dropping rapidly. You can see that the foot guards wiped out this unit, and it's now focusing down the flanks here. And the 42nd Black Watch is engaged against the Voltige. And it looks like they are in range, but they're just getting peppered down. Over here, Lance is losing on this flank as well. I'm not sure why he's not using his cavalry yet. There is no cavalry for the English that are going to threaten his artillery. But then again, maybe he doesn't actually know that. Maybe he thinks that there is some cavalry hiding in the trees waiting. So I can see why he's being defensive, but right now, like, this is the perfect opportunity. He's going to lose his advantage if his mainline infantry break completely. Then he's not really going to be able to use the cavalry to get in behind the units, because they'll be well prepared. And it looks like AKABURE is calling a general-controlled retreat. Lance did retreat first. You can see the line of bodies here. So he did retreat his units out of melee, or out of the firefight. And it looks like AKABURE is doing the same thing. Problem is, he can't really do that because the artillery is still hitting him hard. And artillery in Napoleon, I believe, does have a decent amount of ammunition, so it's not like he can just wait until the ammunition is done and then go back into melee. But the balance of power, yeah, slipping even further into Lance's favor here. The English have taken quite a few casualties. Luckily, their general is still alive, which is good. But yeah, these units are not looking good here. 65 out of 160, so they've lost almost 100 men in that one. Down to 82 here, 119. King German Legion foot here, 71. This one, 34, so the foot guards are pretty much wiped out. And the 42nd Black Watch is 51. Looking at lances, he's got 56, 89, 50, 113, and 49. So actually, I'd say that he even has less units. Except he does have the Voltige, which are going to help out on the flanks as they did before. The light infantry really pulling their weight, but I think it's a bit of a stalemate now. They're not sure how they want to proceed with this. I really think that Lance missed his opportunity with using his cavalry, though. The battle would have been over by now if he had one over on either flank. Just flanked right around, it would cause the units to form square. Then the Fusiliers of the line could fire upon them. They would come out of square to fire again on the Fusiliers of the line, and then the cavalry would just slam into them. And he would have broken both these flanks. Like, look how weak this left flank is. Like, there's basically half of a unit between these two units. So they're down to like 25% strength. A good cavalry charge would have easily broken that. And then he would have been down to like 3 or 4 units in the center here. But looks like he is moving forwards his cavalry now, slowly. And the volleys have stopped, so I'm wondering if he is out of ammunition now? I'd be kind of surprised if he was. Yeah, I didn't think so. There we go. Unfortunately, all missing, but yeah, now AKABURE is moving forwards once again. Let's get a shot of the English redcoats moving forwards. We got the drummer there as well, you can see. Setting the battle rhythm. Yeah, I'd say that it's stacked against AKABURE at this point, just because he's taken so much damage. Yeah, look at this. One volley from the Voltiges have pretty much annihilated the 42nd foot, and they have shattered completely. They will not be returning. So all the Voltiges have to do is push forwards a little bit, do the same thing to these foot guards, and there we go. Finally, we do have the cavalry moving on the flanks. The Fusiliers of the line did get the first volley off, but it doesn't look like they took too much damage there. Not sure if this is the best position or not, too, because it looks like a lot of the shots might not even be hitting their targets. But yeah, he just needs to charge in his cavalry. Look at this. There we go. The foot guards have broken. We have the King German Legion foot left, and a couple units of foot. And, of course, the foot guards over here, which have done a lot of work. They've wiped out 2 units, I believe, of Fusiliers of the line so far. This could be a third here. Yep, there we go. So that one is broken. But here comes the French cavalry. Let's go ahead and minimize the radar map so you can see. And there we go. They're forming square in the trees here. Getting some good volleys. Oh, my goodness. That camera shake. Absolutely crazy. Did they get a... Yeah, they ripped right through that formation there. can see the smoking remains of the shot just ripping right through the square formation there. And yeah, the rest of his units are in square formation, so that's pretty much GG. This unit of foot guards, I believe, it has routed. Yes, it has. And I'm not sure where the general went. He might have been gunned down as well. So it comes down basically to the foot. But yeah, just not using his cavalry. Like, he ended up having his cavalry left at the end, which is good, I believe, but just not really using them to their advantage. Like, he eliminated AKABURE's cavalry superiority early on in the battle, but then he didn't capitalize on it. But yeah, even though they're in square formation, I'm pretty sure that they're going to break here. They're surrounded on all sides. We've got some of the Fusiliers of the line charging into melee, and that probably is going to be the end. I mean, they're holding strong. Slaughtering them. They will not be returning to the battle. And there we go. So yeah, only losing about half of his force. So he did have about 700 remaining, getting 1,000 kills, which is good. So yeah, pretty much wiping out, I'd say, 75% of AKABURE's force. Meanwhile, he only killed 732. If we take a look at the statistics, I believe, for Lance here. So yeah, good kills on his artillery. Fusiliers line 127, 106. And the Voltige, yeah, doing really well there. Really well in thinning down the more elite infantry for England. So that is a win for Lance, so he is 1 up. So let's go ahead and take a look at their naval battle next. Alright guys, welcome to the second battle between Lance and AKABURE, and Lance has once again gone with France, and AKABURE has gone with the United Kingdom, or Great Britain. I think they misunderstood the rules and thought that they had to bring the same factions for the entire round, but that's alright. The tournament has long been over, so we'll obviously just have to work with what we have. But Lance, again, playing as France, he has the Mutiné for his general here, then he has the Actif, the Ville de Paris, the Tyrannacide, then he has the Hero and the Ocean for bomb catches, and then he has the Truine and the Immortalité, which are small frigates. Looking at the United Kingdom over here, starting from this side, he has the Jamaica, the Aurora, the Dragon, he has the Ramillies, his Admiral's flagship here is the Queen, we have the Shannon, the Unicorn, the Rose, and the Magnificent. And you can see that Lance here, he has a really nice arcing pattern here. He's coming in, getting some good shots off, and then turning his units around. Not sure where his Admiral is going, though. It seems to be sailing quite a distance away from the battle. But we do have the Magnificent and the Actif lining up for a showdown, looks like. This is only a 50-gun fourth rate, whereas Lance's French ship is a 74-gun ship of the line, so it should do a decent amount of damage to it there. AKABURE also has a pretty good setup here. He's almost sailing parallel with the French, getting some good volleys off there on the Ville de Paris. And I think that the Great Britain fleet has larger ships, but less numbers. Let me just confirm here. So he's got 8, and then we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Actually, no. So Great Britain actually has more ships, which is very interesting. And his biggest ship over here, Lance's largest ship, the Mutiné, which is the Admiral's flagship, is sailing away from the battle. It really could be used to go up against some of these larger ships like the Queen and the Shannon. However, how many guns does it have? It's an 80-gun steamship. So I'm not actually sure that steamships were allowed in this battle. So maybe that's what he's doing, is he realized that this is a steamship, so he's moving it out of the battle so as to not break the rules. So if that's the case, Lance, thank you, man. I really respect that. It is going to cause him to be at a disadvantage, though, because all that money he did spend on the steamship he now cannot use, which is probably a little frustrating for him. Now, the Hero and the Ocean over here are very close to the actual battlefield. They should be deployed farther back where they can kind of utilize the fact that, oh no, these aren't rocket ships, they're bomb catches. Oh, I see. Well, I don't know how much range these guys have, but I know from previous naval battles that we've watched that they do a ton of damage to ships here. So hopefully he will be able to use them effectively. If I zoom in, yeah, so they do have mortars, so they should have range if they were a little further back. And looks like the Magnificent has surrendered over here. A lot of these other ships are kind of left behind. The Dragon, the Aurora, the Jamaica, and the Ramillies are trying to quickly surround this French fleet. They are trying to do an opposite turn here now. The Rose is getting some good shots on the Immortalite, and good shots with the Unicorn as well. So the French fleet is actually kind of surrounding the larger ships here, so they might be able to hit them from both sides. However, we do have the rest of AKABURE's fleet closing in from behind. We can go ahead and turn on the radar so you guys can see the position of the ships. Well, we do have one of the ships on fire. That is the Magnificent, which had already surrendered. But yeah, that's exactly what's happening, is he accidentally brought a steamship. So that really sucks for LANSE. He's kind of stacked the odds against himself here. Now, this is also not a good idea. You can see that he's got the Tyrannicide and the Active sailing side by side, but this is pretty much mitigating the ability of the Active to fire because it's blocked by the other friendly French ship. So he needs to kind of spread them out into a longer line. But yeah, there we go, ripping that one into. Huge hits from the Queen, actually getting like a triple hit here because the ships are so close together. The Ville de Paris, the Active, and the Tyrannicide all getting hit by the much larger Admiral's flagship. If we look here, 60, 120... Yeah, so pretty much all three of these ships only have 30 more guns than this one ship here, the Queen, the 122-gun ship of the line. And again, sailing side by side here, and there we go, yep. The Queen getting a huge hit into the Ville de Paris. The only benefit, I guess, is that the Ville de Paris is really defending the Active over here from obtaining any damage from those volleys. But yeah, we've got the much smaller ships kind of bringing up the rear here, and they're being kind of picked off one by one. The Hero over here is starting to waver, which isn't good. He's going to lose his bomb catches before they are able to get any casualties on these larger ships here. Good volley on the Rose. And yeah, there we go. Finally, the Ville de Paris has surrendered, and the Active is going to be exposed now. The Hero just ripping through the Ville de Paris, getting some hits on the Active, even though it is defended by its sister ship. And then, well done to AKABURE. He has cut off the retreat of the Active here. He's going to get a good return volley on the Ramillies, which is a small sloop, and then another volley on the Queen. But this ship is surely going to be destroyed. Yeah, there we go. So it is surrendered as well. So it's not looking good for LANSE. A lot of his ships are starting to waver here, as you can see. So what started out as a promising win for LANSE here, taking a win in the land battle, it looks like AKABURE might be able to tie this up. LANSE is down to pretty much one ship. Oh, huge explosion there from the bomb catch, I believe. That is probably going to, yep, surrender the Immortalite, which is close by. And the Ocean looks like it's just going to continue to waver. Yeah, it hasn't broken yet, but now this one is on fire, the Immortalite. And that one probably will explode as well, which will cause the Ocean to break. And this one has sunk beneath the waves. You can see only the masts are above the water. The Ville de Paris. And what does this mean? Are they boarding it? Not sure if they were trying to board that surrendered ship there. But we have the Tyrannicide, which is concerned about its hull damage. It's being pummeled by the Queen. And 122 gun, they've only lost a few of their guns and minimal crew members as well. And there we go, that has surrendered. We basically just have the Tween, which is the 38-gun frigate, against the might of the Great Britain fleet. I don't want to be too close to this, though, because of the super loud explosions. Definitely going to kill a lot of the crew members there that have just jumped overboard. And there we go, the Ocean bomb is sinking. And that surely has surrendered the Trine. Yes, it has. And I believe the only ship that is left is the steamship, which Lance cannot use. So he probably will just... I'm thinking he probably will just admit defeat at this point. Even with the steamship, I doubt he's going to be able to take on the combined might of all of the ships of Great Britain. Still has 2, 4, 6, 7 ships, I believe. 8 ships. I don't even think he's lost one ship, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not even sure if he's lost a ship, interestingly enough. Yeah, it's too bad, because he really could. He probably spent a ton of money on this ship here. And the fact that it was his admiral's flagship as well could have really been used in battle. How many guns does it have? It's an 80-gun steamship, so, I mean, they've got 116 guns here, they've got 88 guns here, 64 guns here. So yeah, I think he might just be suiciding the steamship here. He's pulling a Pirates of the Caribbean here with the East India Trading Company, sailing between the Flying Dutchman and the Black Pearl. It's just good business. Here we go, Shannon, get a nice... Oh my goodness, there we go. And the Admiral goes out in a blaze of glory. My goodness. And that should be it there. Yes, so Lance the Strategist getting wiped out. Unfortunately, he lost all of his ships, and AKABURE only taking 1 loss. So that is pretty good. Looking at the casualties here, the unit statistics. Yeah, pretty low kills here, but that's to be expected in naval battles. This is just crew members, I believe, that died. So fair enough. So it looks like we do have a 3rd battle. So I'll see you guys for the final land battle next. Alright guys, welcome to the 3rd and final battle between Lance and AKABURE, and I think that's exactly what happened. Is they misunderstood the rules and thought that they had to play as the same faction for the entire round. So AKABURE is once again Great Britain and Lance is France. And Lance bringing almost a carbon copy of his last land battle here, since it works so well for him. He's got the Chevaliers Léger Lancers. He's got 2 on this flank protecting his artillery and 1 on this flank. He's brought his 3 units of Voltigeurs, and he's only brought 5 Fusiliers to the line this time. And where the extra money went is he's actually brought 2 12-pounder foot artillery instead of a 6 and 8-pounder. And then he's got his general staff here. Meanwhile, AKABURE's forces are much different. So he did bring 2 units of rifles. 1 is hidden. But he went for a bunch of foot here, so he's got 4 units of foot, and actually 5 units of foot, apologies. And then he has some foot guards on this flank. Oh, here's the other rifle unit too, so he's got 2 of them. And he's brought some life guards, so a little bit better quality cavalry, and the King German Legion light dragoons over on that flank. But again, only bringing 1 9-pounder foot artillery, which is actually getting quite destroyed by Lance's artillery. He's only got 2 out of 4 cannons left. And he has his general staff as well. But yeah, this time the Voltigeurs, they're not doing as well. They're being focused down by the rifles on the flank. You can see that their morale is starting to drop a little bit. It is a little bit concerning that Lance has brought less line infantry this time as well, because it was a very close fight between the line infantry and the last land battle we saw. But, oh, look at this on the minimap here. You can see we do have the French cavalry in behind trying to go for the cannon once again. And the lifeguards are going to engage the Chevaliers. And this time I think the Great Britain cavalry should win this. But Lance is actually just going to disengage and go after the artillery. How annoying is that? that he's still going to be able to persist with wiping out AKABURE's cannons. That is so frustrating. Thankfully, they didn't get a very good charge, and the lifeguards are here to hopefully break them in time. Yes, so they are broken. Oh, hold on, 9-pounder foot artillery. There we go. Excellent. And we have the King German Legion light dragoons coming in as well, just to ensure that they do in fact survive. Once again, though, AKABURE taking so much damage to his foot. His mainline infantry really suffering here. Yeah, look at them just ripping through the lines. And the rifles have pulled back. I don't see a reason for that. He should have these rifles forwards because now the Wilczige are just going to set up and fire at the foot. And that is not what I want to see, is elite foot infantry for Great Britain just getting annihilated by light infantry. However, it looks like we do have the foot moving forwards now, so hopefully they will be able to get into range of the Wilczige, or Wilczige. Yeah, so this is where the foot are going to rip apart the light infantry, and if I was Lance, I would just pull them back at this point. They've done their job, and now it's time to just get them out of there. Yes, so that's exactly what he's doing. Units on the flanks, though, look like they may break any time, and Lance is forced to push forwards his Fusiliers to the line. I wouldn't push them forwards too much, though. I would continue to allow my artillery to just do work. And does he still have his 2 units of cavalry over here? He does. Okay. And see, this time is much different. This time, AKABURE has maintained his cavalry support on the flanks. So what we were discussing in the previous battle wouldn't really be viable for Lance to try and flank around and hit them from behind, because we do have cavalry to stop that. And there we go. It looks like we do have the Wilczige. One of them has routed. They may return. And the other 2 are moving to the flanks, although he's going to have to be careful of that because we've got the lifeguards sitting right here. Also, the Fusiliers of the line are having quite a trouble. They're having quite a trouble engaging the foot guards over here. Again, just such solid infantry. Balance of power pretty much dead even at this point. I am seeing some movement from the lifeguards. So I think he does see that the Wilczige are going to be on the flank, and they're not even defended due to the fact that Lance has his 2 units of Chevalier way over defending his cannons. So yeah, well done to AKABURE here with this. Oh my goodness, throwing the French light infantry. And there we go, that one is broken, so I would just keep pushing. Oh no, he's trying to get out of range of the Fusiliers of the line. But again, this also favors AKABURE because now this unit isn't effectively in the line formation, and it's getting absolutely wrecked by the Great Britain foot guards. He also has the support of the rifles here as well. And yeah, let's get those lifeguards and just shatter that unit of Wilczige. Yes, there we go. I want to see the light infantry get thrown like 30 feet again. There we go. There. That's such a funny sight to behold there. And actually getting into the general here. So Lance had his general staff over on this flank, but that is such a risk. And see, he's using his light lancers, but it might actually be a little too late at this point. We've got the King German light dragoons, which can slow these 2 units down, and we've also got the superior infantry on this flank. So yeah, it's still dead. Well, it's not even dead even. I would say that AKABURE has a slight advantage here. His right flank has completely broken. Lance's, that is. We've got the lifeguards running down this, the light infantry, making sure they don't return. I would eliminate that unit of Wilczige as well. The foot is starting to look a little worse for wear in the center. However, with this unit in the square formation, you can see that only a bit of the unit is actually firing forwards. And over here as well, well done. The foot actually securing this flank a bit. It's firing a lot of shots into the Chevalier. And I think he is going to go for the artillery, maybe. But the artillery is pretty much out of this anyways. No, he's actually going to charge into the general here. Ooh, so that is not good, and then he's going to clip the general and continue moving forwards to an undefended unit of foot. Oh yeah, this is a bit of a disaster for AKABURE. Now you can see the Great Britain general is trying to keep his units from breaking, but that does bring him into range of the Fusiliers of the line here, which are focusing him down, and he actually shatters the general. Oh no. That is not good. However, it's still slightly in favor of AKABURE here. And what do we have? We've got some Fusiliers of the line being run down by the Lifeguards, and Lance's front line shatters completely. So now this unit of cavalry is just going to run down these units. Lance retreating with one of his units of cavalry to defend his cannons. But AKABURE has a lot more heavy infantry here, so again it slips into his favor. Oh no, yeah, he has to be careful of canister shot though. He's gonna lose his cavalry here. Yeah, quickly get that cavalry out of range before the canister shot rips you to shreds. And we are moving some foot up here, but I would try and actually get them onto the flanks of the cannons. Approaching that from the front is pure suicide. And oh, maybe it still has some ammunition. Yeah, it is still firing. I think it's firing at the Volchigay way over here, which I've decided to rout once again. But Lance is kind of down to cavalry and his cannons at this point. I'm assuming his general also was broken. We do have some rifles way back here. We have the 9-pounder foot artillery. I would say that Lance still has... it's hard to say. I was going to say he still has cavalry superiority. Well, now he has cavalry superiority now that the Lifeguards are getting ripped to shreds. But I think even the depleted Lifeguards would hold their own against the Lancer cavalry here. Oh no, and we've got exposed rifles over here. The Foot Guards are a little too far behind. They are going to set up and hopefully get a shot off on this cavalry. Quick, fire. Fire. Oh no. That is not good there. Hopefully this has brought the cavalry in range of the Foot Guards though, so they will be able to get some shots up. Oh no, but they shatter. That's not good. And the foot shatter over here as well. Well, they're routing. They're not shattered. They could come back, but now it's down to basically 3 units of foot? 4 units of foot? This is so close. And look at this AKABURE moving forwards right in the face of canister shot. Oh my goodness. And I think that they're actually going to be able to fire again. Yep, there we go. That unit has routed. This unit has shattered. What a disaster. This unit has routed. And it's still just a hair in favor of AKABURE. Oh, but those volleys surely will shatter them. Yep, that one is gone for good. Man, that is tough to see. This unit has returned, this foot 43, but now I'd say it's just a hair. No, it's pretty much, well, yeah, I think it's just a hair in favor of Lance. All due to his cannons here. Yeah, I don't think the canister shot's going to be as accurate from that range, but I would definitely be pushing with my cavalry if I could here. Just hitting these units and making sure that they do not return. We've got 1 unit of rifles still left here. And what else? Oh no, the cannon crew is actually routed as well. But some of the units are going to return. Let's go ahead and get rid of this mini-map because we don't really need it there anymore. Look, we've also got the Lifeguards that have returned as well, so AKABURE needs to get his Lifeguards up here, maybe try and flank around and hit the cannons from behind. But Lance is going to be stubborn. He wants this win. He's going to keep his cavalry close by, protecting his cannons. And every time these units come back and get into range of the cannons, they're just going to be destroyed. Oh, that's frustrating if you are rooting for AKABURE, but Lance just clinches it. So well done to him. Really good job with the cannons here. A little conservative with the cavalry, but I mean, it worked out for him 2 times in a row, so well done there. I mean, we could still see a win here, but the bounce power is way in favor of Lance at this point. I doubt that he's going to be able to do too much. We do have the lifeguards coming back in, but I think a good charge from the Lancers will probably shatter them. The morale is so low for these units at this point. Basically just getting a French unit within a few yards of the unit just shatters them.
Yes, sir.
Oh no, don't fire on the lifeguards again. I'm pretty sure this is one of the closest battles we've seen in a round, though. Very, very close. The brave lifeguards going in against the French cavalry there in the trees. Yeah, and they have pretty much been wiped out. So there goes the cavalry for the United Kingdom. So once again, AKABURE is just left with a few units of infantry, and I think this cavalry will just be enough. If you get it close enough, they should break, which is too bad because this unit of 96 men is still quite strong. It isn't square as well. Oh, nice! And AKABURE putting down the stakes. I hope Lance sees this, otherwise he's going to lose his cavalry. Ooh, not good there. Not good. I think he did try to stop his unit, but some of them still ended up charging through. Yeah, he is trying to go around the stakes there, but yeah, 5 or 6 of them being slaughtered on those stakes. I'm not sure what he's trying to do, because they're not going to win against this square formation. It's too healthy of a unit of foot. They're a solid unit. Yeah, get a good volley there. Yep, so the cavalry has been broken, clawing back some of the balance of power here, AKABURE. But he just has no way to get to these cannons. That's the only problem. One good volley from those cannons, and it's just going to see off that final unit of foot. You can see the morale isn't really that great either, so this is the perfect time to fire. Yep, and there we go. The last unit has shattered. Wow. And there we go. So Lance actually clinching a victory with only 2 units of artillery remaining. You can see, yeah, losing 900 men, but killing 812. AKABURE actually killing more, but unfortunately just couldn't get the victory there. Good kills on the 12-pounder foot artillery. And looks like most kills by the Fusiliers of the line here. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed, and that is round 1 completed. And what's going to be nice about the round 2 battles is that we are going to see a different battle map, so it's going to switch things up a little bit. Thank you so much for watching so far, guys, in this tournament. I hope you have enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this in the future. And as always, I will see you in the next one.